Good morning, students. Once again, we are going to study first lesson of standard 6th, and the chapter name is Basic Concepts in Geometry. So, dear students, if you want to see more and more videos right from nursery to 10th standard, we are going to prepare more and more topics on covering all the subjects. So please subscribe the channel. And once again, let's come to the point. Standard 6th, Mathematics, first chapter, Basic Concepts in Geometry. Now, when you go up to higher classes in 9th and 10th, mathematics is divided into two groups. First is algebra and second part is geometry. So, while studying geometry, we have to learn certain things. We have to know certain things so that we can do or we can solve the problems accurately in future. So we have to know all the geometrical figures, geometrical terms, whatever covers in the geometry part, that all we have to see. Suppose we are giving just now what we can call this? Just it is a point. A point is what? It is a tiny dot. So point is nothing but a tiny dot. So tiny dot on blackboard, with the help of chalk I have given a point on the board. It's a tiny dot. If a student takes a pencil and marks a tiny dot on the paper, it is also a point. So now a point is nothing but a tiny dot. So when we take a dot in geometry, we have to give its name. Suppose point, let us give any alphabet, A, B, C, whatever you like. Point, suppose it is point A. Another student can say it is point B. So you can write it point A, point B. Some students can write point C, and so on. So a tiny dot in geometry, a tiny dot is known as a point, and for the point you have to write its name. For example, myself Wilson. You have, all the students have their particular names. So in geometry, if you are giving a dot, that dot and that point has certain name. So that point may be point A, point B, and point C. Next point in geometry we will say about line segment. Now what do you understand by segment? Segment is nothing but a part. एक छोटा सा टुकड़ा जिसे बोलेंगे हम. So line segment means what? Segment or a part of line. Part of line, not line, complete whole. From that line, a small part if we take, that part becomes a line segment. For example, we will see this is just a line segment. Now already I have told you, whenever you see the point, you have to give name. Suppose this is P and this is Q. Now this is called a line segment. It is a part of line. Suppose this is a now this is a line, because whenever there are two arrowheads, it becomes a line. Now from that line, this PQ forms a small part of a line, or that small part is called a segment. So this from point P to point Q, this is a line segment. Now line segment, it has a definite length. Now this line segment has two endpoints. Point P and point Q are the two endpoints of line segment. Beyond this, the line segment will not increase, or it cannot be elongated, or it will not move further. So this is the definite length of line segment. So line segment is what? a segment of line which has two distinct points or two end points, and it has a definite length. It cannot grow beyond that two end points. So this is called a line segment. So you can call this, what is this? Segment PQ. You can write in this way, segment PQ. So line segment is nothing but, segment means a part of line is called a line segment. Line segment has two end points. Further growth or further increasing of the line is not possible. It has a definite length, and in geometry we write as segment PQ. Now next point we will see about the line. Now in geometry, only such figures, only such things, when you see the two arrowheads, then only you can call it a line in geometry. Previously, what draw a line means we have to draw like this. There are no arrowheads. In English part, it is a line. In language, it is a line. But in geometry, we cannot call this as a line because it has no arrowheads. So whenever a line has two arrowheads, this means, what is the meaning of the arrowheads? The meaning of arrowheads is that the line extends in this direction, and this arrowhead shows that line extends in that direction. So the extension of line is indefinite. There is no definite. The line can be extended up to the board and beyond the board and beyond the house also. So the two arrowheads shows us that the line is indefinite, extending in both the straight directions. So such figure in geometry we call it as a line, and in geometry for every figure has a name. So this is line L. So in order to name this line, we take small letter alphabets of English. Line L, it may be line O, maybe line P, maybe line B, C, whatever alphabet you prefer. Next type of line we will see the same, having the point P and Q. This is also line because it is extending beyond the point P, and this side the line is extending beyond the point M. So here also this line is extending in the left hand side. This arrow shows the line is extending in the right hand side, and for this also you have given the name PM. So here we can call it as, this is 1, this is 2. So what is first one? First one is line L. And what is the second one? It is line PQ. So in this way you have to write a line. If you are not showing the 2 points on the line, you can simply write a small letter alphabet, whatever alphabet you prefer, line L. Or if you take 2 points on the line, you can name it as line PM. So this is the line. What is the line? A line has 2 arrowheads extending straight in both the directions, and it is increasing indiscriminately in both the directions. So this is about the line. Next point we will see about ray. Now what is ray? Ray is nothing but such type of figure. See this figure. In this figure, at one side there is one arrowhead, and the next side it is terminating. It has a starting point or a end point. So such figure, at one end there is one end at one side, and there is an arrowhead on the other side. So this indicates that this ray is extending in this direction. Here in this side there is no extension, or the line cannot grow in this direction because this is a starting point, or we can say it as a end point. So ray is also a part of line. We can call it as end point as B and this point as C. So in this figure, the figure which has arrowhead at one side and a starting or end point on the other side, and such type of figure we call it as B. So we can write this as ray BC. Followed? Next point we will see about concurrent lines. Now what do you mean by concurrent lines? When three or more line passes through the same or single point, then that lines are called concurrent lines. I will explain you in the figure. Suppose this is a point and the line is passing through this point. Then again a line is passing to the same point. Name it as a point C. Then again a line will be passing through the same point C. And again we can draw the line passing from the point C. We can label the names. Suppose this is A, and this is B, this is D, and this is E. So how many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, and 4 lines are. So what is the definition of concurrent lines? When three or more line passes from a single point or through the same point, then all these lines, lines A, line B, line D, and line E, are called concurrent lines. So we can write as line A, B, D, and E are concurrent lines. Follow? Next point we'll see collinear points. See here, co and linear. Linear means what? In a line. So co-linear points. From the word itself we get a rough meaning of it, that collinear means certain points which are in line. So what are collinear points? Three or more points which lie on the same line, then that points are called collinear points. For example, we'll see this is a line M. On this line M there are 4 points: point E, point F, point G, and point H. When three or more points, now these are 4 points, so when the definition is when three or more points lie on a same line, then that points are called collinear points. So we can write as points E, F, G, and H are collinear points. Followed? Next point we will see about non-collinear points. Previous what was the point? Collinear points means points which lie on the same line are called collinear points. And non-collinear means what? Opposite of collinear. So the points which do not lie on same line are called non-collinear points. We will see with the help of example. This is a line Y, and see the point I is on the line, point L is on the line, but point J and point K and point N are not on the same line. So all these 5 points are not on the same line. So as these points are not on the same line, we call them as non-collinear points. So we can write as points I, J, K, L, and N are non-collinear points. Next point we will see about the plane. So this figure we can call it as a plane. Even the blackboard is also a plane. So what is plane? A plane is a flat surface which extends infinitely in all the directions. So this plane, this side will extend in this direction, this side will extend in this direction, this side will extend in this direction, and this side will extend in this direction. So plane is nothing but a flat surface extending infinitely in all the four sides. So this is all called as plane. Now next point we will see about the parallel lines. So what are parallel lines? From this figure, what can you say? All these three lines are separate, they are not cutting each other, and for that cutting word in geometry we say intersection. So those lines which do not intersect each other and lie in the same plane, then that lines are called parallel lines. Are you understanding, getting the point? See, if the lines are in this way, then we cannot call these lines as parallel lines, because these two lines are intersecting each other. Intersecting means they are cutting each other at a certain point. But those lines, in this figure we can see line E, line F, and line G, suppose. So what are parallel lines? Those lines which do not intersect each other and lie in a same plane, then that lines are called parallel lines. So now what are parallel lines? Lines E, F, and G are parallel lines. Now we are going to solve practice set 1. So in practice set 1, the first question we have on this figure, we have to tell the names of collinear points. Now already we have seen earlier what are collinear points. Can you recall the definition? So once again I will repeat, what are collinear points? Points which lie on the same line. So when three or more points lie on the same line, then that points are called collinear points. Now in this figure you have to find out which points are collinear, means which points are on the same line. So in this figure we can see that point M, point O, and point T are collinear points. Second, we will see point R, point O, and point N are collinear points. So we will write which are the collinear points. So point we'll write point R, O, N, and point M, O, and T are collinear points. So once again I see what are collinear points. Three or more points which lie on the same line, then that points are called collinear points. So in this figure we have two collinear points, two group of collinear points. In this line we have point M, O, and T as a collinear points. In this figure we have point R, O, and N as collinear points. So now in this figure we have to find out ray. So can you recall the definition of ray? A ray has one starting or end point and another end has a arrowhead showing that that line is extended in a indefinite manner. So in this ray we can make out ray OM, then ray OR, ray OS, ray OT, ray ON, and ray OP. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the 5 rays here. Ray OM, ray OR, ray OS, ray OT, ray ON, ray OP. So these are all 6 rays. Now the third question is, we have to find out line segments in this figure. So what is line segment? A small part of line is called line segment. It has 2 end points. So now in this figure we can say that segment MT, these are the 2 end points. This is one end point known as M, this is another end point named as T. So segment MT. Then another we will see segment RN. First we will write, then we can say as segment OM, segment OR, segment OS, segment OT, segment ON, segment OP. These are also segments. So we can write as segment MT, segment RN, segment OM, segment OR, segment OS, segment OT, segment ON, segment OP. So these are the segments we have to find out in this figure. Now we have to find lines in this given figure. Lines means, what do you understand by the lines? The lines has 2 arrowheads. Now in this figure it should be a straight line having 2 arrowheads. So this is a straight line having 2 arrowheads, and this is also a straight line having 2 arrowheads. So in this figure we have 2 lines. What is that? Line MT and line RN. So these are the 2 lines in this given figure. Now this is the second question of practice set 1. Write the different names of the line in the given figure. So now looking at this figure, we have to write the names of lines. What is the question? Write the different names of the line. So in what different way we can express the line? So from this figure already they have given line L. So the answer is line L is there, then line AB, line AC, line AD, line BC, line BD, CD. So in different ways, in this possible different ways, we could write the different names for the given line. So already L is the name of this line, and apart from the line L, we can write line AB, line AC, line AD, and taking the point B, we can write line BC, line BD, then taking the point C, we'll write line CD. So these are all the possible ways we can write the different names of a given line. Now third question is match the following. So now in the column A, they have given the 4 figures. In the column B, they have given the names for the figures, and we have to select what is the appropriate name of the figures. Now, can you tell me what is this figure? The figure, a line that has 2 arrowheads, then it is a line. So first matches with B, not B, it's C. So first matches with the C. So you can write it as first arrowhead C. Got it? Okay, so C also will be in a bracket. What is the second one? This is a part of a line having 2 end points. Then you can call it as a line segment. So this is line segment. The second figure matches the D. So you can write it second matches D. And the third, we can see a blackboard is also, this is a plane extending in all the 4 directions. So third one matches the point B. So third refers to B. And the fourth remaining has one starting point or end point, and another end is the arrowhead. So one arrowhead and one starting or ending point, it is called ray. So the fourth figure matches the A1. So thus we have completed the match the following. The next we will see. Now in this figure we have to find out parallel lines, concurrent lines, and point of concurrence. So now in this figure you can definitely identify which are parallel lines. So we have shown in the different color. Blue color lines are there. This is the blue color line. This also bluish green in color. So line B is parallel to line M is parallel to line Q is parallel to line B. So all these 3 lines are parallel to each other. And next we will see line A is also parallel to line P. See, this is the parallel line. This is going in this way, this is going in this way. Both are going in the same particular direction, and these 3 lines are going in same particular direction without intersecting each other. So how will you write parallel lines? Line B parallel, B is parallel to line M, and wait, parallel to line Q. So these are about the parallel lines. So line B is parallel to line M is parallel to line Q. And secondly, line A is parallel to line P. Line A parallel to line P. So this is about the parallel lines. Next question they have asked, what are concurrent lines? So concurrent lines, you know. Can you recall what is the definition of concurrent lines? Anyone? Okay. Three or more lines which intersect at a same point or at a given point, then those lines are called concurrent lines. So now here, see here, line B, line C, and line AC. These are all concurrent lines. Here also, line P, line Q, and line AC. These are also concurrent lines. So second we will write about concurrent lines. What are concurrent lines? See here, line A, line A, line B, line C, and line, this is all line, we can call it as line AC. Up to here we can call it as line AC, line AC. So in this part we have seen these are the concurrent lines, and here also line P, line Q, and line AC are also concurrent lines. Line P, Q, and line AC are known as concurrent lines because all these lines pass through a single point A, and here these lines pass through a single point D, so these lines are called concurrent lines. Next we will see point of concurrence. So we will see the last point, point of concurrence. So what is point of concurrence? The point where the lines intersect or meet each other. So that point is called concurrent points or point of concurrence. So points of concurrence. So what is point of concurrence? You will write here. So point A here, this is the point of concurrence where the concurrent lines pass through a single point. That point is called point of concurrence. So here it is point A and point D, point A and point D. So these are the point of concurrence. So here, after finishing this part, we conclude this chapter number first, that is basic concepts in geometry. So in the next session we will see another video on the second lesson. The topic of that second lesson is angles. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe the channel, because henceforth we are going to make all the chapters right from English, science, history, geography, mathematics, all subjects we are trying to cover of 600, right from nursery to 10th standard. So I request all the viewers to please subscribe the channel. Thank you very much.